How are you today? I hope there is sunshine where you are. I did keep getting asked the same question over the last 24 hours, so I thought I would answer it here. And that question or that exploration has been around, like, all these people are giving me advice that I didn't necessarily ask for, or maybe I did, and it is not really helping me, or it's not what I want to hear, or with some of my clients at the moment, they're feeling like, the world's going to end because of everything that's going on, or that this is a terrible situation, which of course there's terrible aspects to it. But what's springing to mind is that it's really vitally important who we surround ourselves with and what we are influenced by. So it's a little bit like with TV or with food, what you're consuming can either be healthy or unhealthy or a mixture of the two. And same with content that you're consuming, and same with friends that you are consuming their beliefs and their ideas. So I wanted to just mention today, in case anyone has been maybe being given loads of advice that they didn't ask for, what to do for that. Maybe you've been asking for advice and then feeling like this isn't very good advice, or like, not really sure what to believe, or maybe you don't like asking for advice. So my motto with this is only ask for advice of somebody that you wouldn't mind changing places with. So personally for me, I have certain people that I ask advice and that's it. I don't ask advice from anyone else, and occasionally someone will say, well, do you want my advice? And I'll just say, nope. Thank you, but no. Or, I'll listen to their advice if I have to, and then my answer to that is just thank you, thanks for your advice, and I don't take it on board. So a couple of things in that are only take advice from somebody who you would change places with. So who in your life is in a position that you would actually enjoy being in that position. So I'm not saying you have to, you want to not have your life or you want someone else's life. No. But for example, one of my main advice givers is my mentor, who I've chosen for that reason. I pay her for that reason. And she is doing a lot of the things that I want to do or am doing. For example, she's traveling the world, she's happily married, she's an author, she's got a few books out, she has loads of time off, she has loads of fun, she buys herself gifts. These are all things that I want in my life. So if I had a mentor who was a workaholic and too busy to see their family or not very healthy in their body, and I was taking advice from that person, then I would be getting advice based on those things. So who are you taking advice from, and are they a reliable source? Or better still, would you be happy to swap places into their life? So another thing on this is, when I was meant to be going to South America a few years ago, I was like, oh my God, I really want to go to Rio. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. And everybody that I spoke to was like, oh my God, you can't go to Rio, a single blonde girl, like, that would be so dangerous. You cannot go to Rio. And then I was like, oh, better not go to Rio. And then when I was in South America, I was in Peru, and I was meeting all these people who were coming the other way. So I had gone to Peru, and I was going to Peru, Bolivia, Argentina, and then to Brazil. And I was meeting travelers who'd come from Brazil, Argentina, Bolivia, Peru. And so these people, I was like, how was Rio? And they're like, oh yeah, it was amazing, you should totally go. And I was like, is it not too dangerous? And they're like, well, I went and I was fine. And it made me realize in that moment that I'd been taking advice from people who've never been to Rio. And actually, when I took advice from people who'd been to Rio, it was a very different experience. And so I chose to not tell anybody at home I was going to Rio, and I just went, and then I told them then, and I was like, by the way, I'm in Rio, and they're like, oh my God, you can't go there. And I was like, I've already been, I've already been there. I'm leaving now. So it really matters who you take advice from. So the premise of this video is be really careful who you take advice from. If you take advice from someone who's not doing the thing you want to do, you'll not get the advice you want or that's good for you. If you get advice from somebody who's already doing it, you'll get very different advice. So a simple thing, when someone gives you advice, maybe you didn't want it, or maybe you asked for advice and then you didn't like the advice, all you need to say is, thank you. Thank you for your advice. That's it. You don't have to reason with them. You don't have to bargain with them. You don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to share your thoughts. You can just say, thank you. And that's it. People give me advice all the time and I don't take it unless it's someone that I would swap places with. The second part of this was ask someone who's already doing it. If you want to write a book, like I've just done, go and spend time with authors and people in groups that have already written a book. Don't spend time with people who've never written a book and want to, because they're going to tell you how hard it is, how difficult it is, how you're never going to do it, how it's going to take ages, it's going to cost loads of money. But people that have already done it will be like, try this, try that. Yeah, I did this, I did that. This is what worked for me. So you get very different advice and you'll end up doing it if your circle of influence has already done it. So if you want to be a millionaire, go and hang out with millionaires. If you want to make money, don't go and hang out with poor people, because they'll tell you how difficult it is and how it's not going to happen and money's hard and doesn't grow on trees and you have to work really hard for money. Go and hang out with millionaires and they'll tell you how easy it is and how great it is and how fun it is, with a few challenges as well. So having someone like a mentor or somebody who's already doing what you're trying to do. And I think this is very prevalent in the Get It Done group that I've just run, because all the ladies in my group were trying to create things like I've created in my business. So hanging around with me, I obviously know how I've done it and I know what mistakes I made and I can share that with them. And then miraculously, they all just like explode and start doing super well. And that is partly because I've already done it and they're inspired by me and learning from me who's already done it. So it makes it possible. And then the last thing on that was just, if someone gives you advice and you didn't ask for it or you didn't want it, just say thank you. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to listen to their advice. Just listen to advice from people who you would be willing to exchange places with. It's a game changer tip that someone taught me a few years ago and I've used ever since. And just be really aware if you start asking someone advice and they've never done the thing you're trying to do, or they're not a very positive person, or they have loads of blocks, money blocks, like career blocks, you're going to get duff advice and it's not going to be very inspiring. So your circle of influence, the people around you who influence your choices, is so important. And obviously right now we're in quarantine, so I hear you saying or thinking, yeah, well, I can't surround myself with millionaires right now. I'm in quarantine, Gina. But actually, your circle of influence is the 5 people in your life that are around you the most. So this, for me, Tony Robbins is one of my circle of influence because I listen to his stuff all the time and I'm heavily influenced by him. And to me, that's good quality information that aligns with my beliefs and helps me to grow. So I may not be seeing him in person, but I'm definitely listening to his podcasts and creating that circle of influence anyway. And also you could jump into a group. So for example, one of my Facebook groups is called the Infinite Self-Love Society. And if you want to be around women who are on a self-love journey, who believe there's something better out there, then joining a group like that will surround you with those people who are growing. And the other day on my first 12-step self-love transformation call, it's amazing when we share why we're doing something, how similar we are. So there was a bunch of women who've joined my 12-step self-love transformation because they aren't happy with the weight they aren't happy with their body. And just hearing these brave ladies share just a tiny, like 1-minute thing of how the reason why they joined and what they want to get out of it. And at the end, they're all messaging me saying, oh my God, I didn't realize there was so many women in my position struggling with the exact same thing. This makes me feel so much better. So just being, your circle of influence is so crucial. If you want to like launch a book or become a coach, be around people who are already doing it. If you want to learn a language, like go and talk to somebody who already knows how to speak Spanish. I wouldn't go and hang out with someone who's wants to do it but never did. Okay, so this just came because I've been giving a bunch of coaching sessions this morning and live sessions, and I keep getting asked this at the moment, and also with money mindset. So some of my friends are like, oh my God, we're in, financial meltdown, which we are, kind of. I can't invest anything right now. I can't spend anything right now. I'm in lockdown. And then some of my friends are like, you know what? I choose faith and trust. I'm still going to invest. I'm still going to believe that this is going to be beneficial for me in some way. And I'm still going to this and I'm still going to that. And I'm in the flow and not in fear mode. And they're the ones that are making more money than ever. And the ones that are in fear mode are very much like, I can't do anything. I'm just like demotivated. So it's really choosing like which team do you want to be in. At the minute, I'm supported by my amazing group of Bali girls who are all like on a mission, using this as the biggest invitation ever to grow and to learn and to teach people, and not seeing it as this negative time that we can't do anything with and no one wants anything and no one wants coaching, because obviously everyone does. My coach, just, new coaching people and my group, and people want these things right now. So what do you believe? And if maybe you had a full-time job and you've been furloughed, or maybe you have been sacked, or you don't even know when your business is going to reopen, it's kind of thinking like, how can you choose faith and trust and use this time to invest in yourself, use this time wisely. Obviously, you're not going to bankrupt yourself, but there's plenty of ways to manifest money. And being in a circle of influence or receiving good quality information from people who believe these things is going to help support you. And just in case you've forgotten, there is a million ways to manifest money. It doesn't just come from your one income stream. It may have done in the past, but there's plenty of ways to earn money online. I know people who've been sacked from their job all of a sudden, and they've taken up some online teaching English to Chinese children or whatever it is. I've heard a woman that started doing singing lessons. I've heard people coming new into coaching. There's a bazillion ways to earn money and serve and create impact. So just remember, it depends who you're around as to what is possible, and your circle of influence is really, really, really crucial to this. So I'll leave it there. Remember, take advice from people who you would swap places with. You wouldn't be annoyed if you had to swap places in their life, and you'll always get good advice. So thank you. Bye.